Welcome everyone. Today we'll be reviewing our digital retailing product BuyNow. BuyNow functions differently from our regular chat products in that this tool only lives on your SRPs and VDPs. Therefore, the customers who are engaging with this platform are going to be more qualified and serious buyers. Today's training will be divided into two separate parts. First, I will review the customer experience, and then I will dive into the back end and how you will be engaging with these customers live on your website. So let's get started. As a customer, I'm going to lease a new vehicle, and this one seems to check all my boxes. So I'm going to click into the digital retailing experience to start building my deal. Now, some dealers may have a gatekeeper which functions like a payment calculator before heading into the full DR flow. In this particular experience, though, we are entering the full flow right away. You'll notice this platform is divided into essentially three separate panels. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to have a recap of the vehicle of interest, the deal details, which you can click on at any point in time to view the information of the deal you're building out. You also have the time saved and then a list of the steps to be completed. In the middle panel, that's going to be the current step that we're on. And then over on the right-hand side, we have the chat panel. This features fly-out messages that can be tailored to prompt the customer to perform certain actions or chat in with questions. The great part about having the chat panel open is that it encourages the customer to interact with you at the dealership. Keep in mind that digital retailing is fully managed by your team, and I know you don't want to leave money on the table. So we'll be sending you red alerts or deal nows when the customer completes a certain step or action. These triggers will vary dealer to dealer depending on personal experience. The first trigger in this particular training is submitting my zip code. Now, I'm logged in as a user on the back end, so you'll notice the desktop notification popped out over here on the side. You can click on that notification to hop into the BuyNow dashboard, or you can wait until the customer appears more engaged. For now, I will continue on as the customer and submit my trade information. So we do have a type ahead feature here, so as I submit my trade, it'll allow me to select my trim level, and all I have to do is type in my mileage. We're using KVB here. Once I click Get Estimate, you'll notice before I can receive my trade valuation, I'm being prompted to add in my contact info. This is a great trade-off, no pun intended, for the customer, but now we have an incentive to provide that information. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my information here, and click Save, and then Continue. All right, so now I have a range on my trade. I can accept and continue here. And as I submit my information continue, you'll notice another deal now appears. Once again, you can click on that notification as it appears, or you can head on over to your CarNow dashboard under the session screen and click on your notifications, the one that pops out in the corner there, to access the most recent deal now. Most of the time, this will take you into the chat platform instead of the BuyNow dashboard. And if it does, you can still use your shortcuts, your e-business cards here, e-brochures, etc. to interact with the customer. However, I would recommend you click on the red calculator at the top to head over to the BuyNow dashboard instead. Once this screen loads, you'll notice right away at the top there is a to-do list for the trade submitted. These to-do tiles are items that require an action from your team. And below that, you'll notice this orange box. That's your deal summary. And below that, you have a full navigation menu which allows you to consult and assist the customer. It defaults to the Buy Now tab, which essentially takes the deal summary and just breaks it down into that nitty-gritty. You can see the rebates and protection packages they're interested in, the trade they've submitted, documents, credit tiers, and much, much more. The best practice as you enter a new Buy Now deal on the back end is to introduce yourself using this chat bubble over here on the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and type in my intro here. Hello, my name is Megan. I'm here if you have any questions. Now, the customer may or may not respond right away, but at least they know you are there when they're ready to discuss any questions they may have. Back on the customer side, you'll see I'm still on the trade screen, and there's a few more things that I can do. I can add in, for instance, a trade payoff. I can upload pictures from my desktop screen of my trade, as you can see here, even damaged photos. And then what's really cool is I can even send a link to myself to my cell phone so I can upload from my mobile library. Now, once I'm ready, I can move on to the next step. If the customer doesn't submit the rest of this information right away, don't worry. We do have some safety rails in place to help check their progress later on. The next step is our soft credit check. This is powered by our partner 700 Credit, which is a free integration for our dealers. And what's great is customers don't have to submit their social security number or have this impact their credit score to get a glimpse of their FICO. Now, once they submit their information, as you can see on the back end, you'll be able to see that new credit tier information. Now, back on the customer side, this is the fun part. It's the payment configuration. The customer can actively switch back and forth between different deal types. They can update, for instance, their terms, down payments, review incentivized rates, which is pretty cool. And everything I update is going to update in real time, as you see here, which is really awesome. I can also check out those rebates as well. And then you'll notice, though, if I can't get to the right monthly payment, over on the right-hand side, you'll see this little prompt here that's going to encourage me to interact with your team. So let's say I want to look at a lower payment. I can type in what I'm looking for a payment range, and then send that over to your team. This will trigger another digital TO. So on the back end, you'll see a second at the top of the dashboard. So I'm going to hop on back over here and show you. All right, so that to-do tile, you can click on respond and that would open the desking tool. Or you can use any of the other tabs to consult the customer on additional rebates, switching their trade value, and more. Now, in the desking tool, though, you can adjust certain deal fields depending on your access level. For instance, if the customer is looking at finance, but perhaps needs some more budget-friendly option, you can switch back and forth between them. You can also use this little cheat tool over on the side. Now, this customer is looking for a $200 payment, so you can see where to roll that payment to. So once I click Calculate New Payments and Apply Down Payment, it's going to tell me how much more the customer needs to get to their desired payment. Now, this will update on your end, but it's up to you to propose it to the customer. So send the offer over. The customer will be alerted on the front end. As you'll notice here, they'll be alerted in all 3 panels of that new deal offer. Once they click on that deal offer, it's going to allow them to either accept or decline. And once they accept, it will auto-adjust the deal to the new terms. So as you can see here, the payments now switched to lease $200, and you'll see that information in all 3 panels. Now, at any point in time, the customer can browse your other inventory and find maybe a better match based on possibly a desired payment range. So you'll see here, I'm loading up on your inventory, and I can adjust what I'm looking at, like I said, based on maybe a particular payment range that I'm looking for, or I can filter based on year, make, model, etc. And if I decided to configure a new deal based on a different vehicle, all the information the customer submitted already would be carried over. Now, throughout the process, the customer can head on over to that right-hand panel and update their contact information, maybe share their deal via text or via email, maybe to a co-signer. Or they can also print their deal to refer back to in the future. And then lastly, what's really cool is they can even switch between vehicles and their shopping cart. So if I did work maybe a couple of different deals and different vehicles, I could switch back and forth. Now, as I move forward on the front end, our tool is going to check the customer's progress. So get this, it's pretty cool. So as I move forward, it's going to let me know if I'm leaving any information on the table. So for instance, I forgot that I actually owe on my trade. So I'm going to go ahead here and update my trade payoff. So let's say I still owe $7,000. That will then update the information on the front end as well. It's going to take a little minute here. There we go, just refresh a second. Next, our tool is going to try to save the customer some more time by suggesting a couple other steps. Moving on, we're going to suggest a couple more steps to help the customer save some time at the dealership. So for instance, I can schedule an appointment, select a date and time for myself to come in and test drive my vehicle of interest. I can also upload my driver's license and insurance card. And then we have the option to request home delivery as well. And besides that, the last thing we can do is allow the customer to reserve the vehicle and submit a deposit. Now, not all dealers will have these options enabled or have all of them, and you may have fewer depending on your preferences. Next, we're going to warm up your F&I team. So we can bundle protection packages, as you can see at the top, or provide them a la carte, as you can see down here at the bottom. If I'm looking into the Platinum bundle, I can get information on each of the items included, for instance, looking at videos or brochures to help make my decision, or I can select a different term based on my needs. Adding items will update my information in real time, although some dealers may choose to hide pricing depending on their preference. Going on to the next step, just going to refresh here really fast. All right, moving on. Next, the customer will navigate to your credit application. Once they fill it out, we don't get an immediate callback within BuyNow on the back-end dashboard, but it will be sent through the normal channels for approval. Finally, we reach the deal summary. As we scroll down, the customer will receive a recap of the deal they built, and any line item with a pencil next to it may be updated. And it would take the customer back to the configuration screen. Clicking next will guide the customer back to the deal summary, where they will also receive a confirmation email. So this is really great, just recapping all the information. And then on the back end, you'll notice that you will have some final to-do tiles listed at the top. So you can confirm the reservation of that vehicle and mark as confirmed. This entire process will be recapped under the overview screen, where you'll see the lead activity, the customer's information, as well as other vehicles of interest. At the top of the overview screen, you'll notice there is a session agent. That is the person who initially answered the first deal now. Finally, our BuyNow tool isn't just a lead generator on your website. It can be used in conjunction with our outreach tool called the Invite. You can now send deals to customers proactively. First, start by clicking on the blue plus sign at the top of the screen. Select whatever dealership you're associated with, I have a lot here, and then input the customer's department. Next, select Send BuyNow Deal. And then input the customer's information. The Invite tool is good for any third-party lead, not just BuyNow customers, although you can link it to an existing transcript if necessary. You'll notice that we have all of your inventory pulled in here, so you can search by stock number or keyword to find the vehicle you're looking for. And once you do, you can now configure the deal. Select whatever you want for the customer, and once you're ready, click Continue. Then enter your message for the customer. Say, how does this look, Mr. Customer? This will come in either an email or a text form, so keep it short and sweet. And then check the box, click Next, And here's your confirmation screen. Once you're ready, click send. Once the customer opts in, what's great is you are the only person who will be alerted, so you can really own that customer relationship. You'll either get a notification pop out on your desktop, as we saw earlier with the deal nows, or you can always live in your session screen, for instance, and just wait for that. So just want to be on the lookout. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your RPM. But I hope you guys have a great day.